Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, ChaosWulff here, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today we are going to be taking a look at some of the basics of the game. Namely, today we are going to be taking a look at docking and launching. I know the vast majority of you out there who watch my videos now will actually be familiar with this, but I want to cover things for newer players as well. Now, what will happen is when you drop out of frame shift around an orbital, such as O'Connor landing here, what you have to do first is actually remember to request docking, because if you actually just fly in without requesting docking, your presence in the orbital will be unlawful. It will be uninvited, unwelcomed, and you'll be given such an amount of time to actually get out. You will get a trespass warning. And I've not exactly tried to see what happens if I fly in and just let the countdown go down. I haven't tried that yet, but maybe we'll try that in a little bit. But definitely not in this ship. I've spent too many credits on this ship to actually do that. So what we do is you come across to your left hand panel over here, and you scroll across to contacts, and you select O'Connor landing, and then go down to request docking and select that.
Docking request granted.
And 90% of the time, 99% of the time, you will have your docking request granted. So what we need to do now is just make our way towards the station. Now, you may think that the time limit that they give you of 10 minutes is a little bit lenient, and for especially the more experienced pilots among us, yes, we can get in and out in a couple of minutes, if even that. But if you're really new to this and you're struggling to find your feet and struggling to work out to control your ship like I was when I very first started with mouse and keyboard, then yeah, it can be a bit of a daunting task. But there is also a tip here for when you want to actually enter the starport. What you can do is you can actually open up your hard points, so then you can see the targeting thing. Just, whoa, somebody's nudging me. Let's get out of the way. Bloody asp. So that you can actually use that main circular targeter to actually gauge where you are going. Just be very careful not to actually fire at anybody, because you're in a no fire zone. Once you get within about 5 kilometers of an orbital, you enter a no fire zone, and if you actually fire your weapons within that zone, you will get a fine. So here we go. Now what you want to do is come in nice and slow and try and line up with your landing pad, because you'll be assigned a landing pad. And if you actually try and land on another landing pad, which is not the one you've been assigned, you'll have a countdown, a loitering countdown. And if you hover over it for too long, you will again get a fine. I'm not sure what happens when you get the fines inside the station, because the inside of these stations do have defensive ports, do have defensive turrets, and they can blow you up if you basically do something really wrong inside here. I've yet to have that happen to myself, so I don't really know exactly what happens, but we'll try to get in a little bit. We'll go and get ourselves a Sidewinder and let it get blown up. But like I said, I'm hanging around the my landing pad right now. So the next step of what we have to do is knock down the landing gear. I actually have my landing gear set to a keybind on my joystick.
Landing gear deployed.
Now, one thing you will notice, well, you may not notice, but it does happen when you have your landing gear deployed, or even your cargo scoop deployed, is the top speed of your ship is halved. And so basically you go a lot slower. It is technically a lot easier to dock. Now I'm going to try and come to a complete stop here. or as close as I can. But you can now see that there is a landing target, and you will not actually be able to complete your landing unless you actually line up perfectly with the center target. So I'm going to thrust across, strafing to the left here, and you see there that the line, the vertical line has actually turned blue, which means I am lined up within acceptable parameters of that axis. So I'm lined up in the center, or as close as need be. Now I'm going to travel a little bit further forward, and as soon as I hit the center, you'll hear a little tone, which means I've actually hit the target zone. So if I bring myself down now, I will actually
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
I basically get myself within the required distance of the landing pad. The ship takes over for the last couple of feet, and then the landing clamps come in and clamp me in place. Alright, so yeah, that's the basics of landing. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover takeoff, but what we're going to have to do is quickly grab myself another ship, because I don't want to... we're going to try and see what happens when we go and loiter. So we'll refuel this ship, I'll go into the shipyard, and I'll pick myself up a Sidewinder. No, I'm not going to sell my ship. I am just going to store that ship for the time being. Okay. So I'll just wait for this to actually register that I have actually changed my ship. And then what we'll do is we will return to the surface, and we'll go and fly outside and see what happens. There we go. So I'll hit the return to surface. You don't have to hit return to surface, you can just go straight to launch and it will automatically take you to surface. But it will automatically release the clamps as well. So, like I said, here we go. I'm up the... I'm ready to launch. Since I've actually hit return to the surface, the landing pad has actually spun me around. So I am facing back towards the exit again. You can see it up there. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to hit launch. So it's going to release my clamps.
Released. Engines engaged.
So I'm going to just thrust straight up. There we go. And we're going to head on straight out. I'm going to put all my pips into engines, so I'm at full throttle at least. And I'm going to hit myself up to full speed. Now, you may think that, wait a sec, this isn't very fast for full speed. And oh yes, I've forgotten to do something. I've actually left my landing gear out, so I'm going to hit my landing gear
retracted.
And you'll see there that all of a sudden my speed doubles. So you can see that. It does the same thing for my cargo scoop.
Cargo scoop deployed.
See, I've put my cargo scoop out and I'm slowing down. So I'm going to retract my cargo scoop as well, get back up to normal. So I've just left the no fire zone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and have a look up in the comms section up here. See, it says no fire zone left. We come a bit closer. And any second now. There we go, no fire zone entered, so I am not allowed to fire my weapons here. But, yeah, what we're going to do is we are, first of all, we're going to hang around the outside here and say hello to Mr. Eagle. I'm sure he's one of the feds. Well, what we're going to do is we are going to just... We're going to fly in and see what happens if I forget to... there we go. Unauthorized access infraction detected. Clear starport immediately to avoid lethal response. So it's like, oh shit. Okay, back up, back up. So I fly back, and I get back, and what'll happen is they'll find me 400 credits, as you can see up on the info panel, and they've actually stopped my landing privileges for the minute. So if I actually... There we go. cleared docking privileges restored. So if I actually tried to request a docking straight after, or even after I got too close, so basically in the doorway, they wouldn't let me. But yeah, they've given me a fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try check something else out as well now. So we have confirmed that if I just flew in without actually requesting docking, they would basically shoot me after about 30 seconds. So what we're going to try now is we are going to bring out our weapons. We're in the no fire zone. I'm going to fire once, see what happens, and they fined me 100 credits for firing. So yeah, that's another 100 credits. So that's 500 credits I should have as a fine at the moment. Well, let's see what happens if I accidentally shot somebody. There we go. I've got an assault. So now I'm wanted. There we go.
Shields offline.
So yeah, like I said, if you want to use your your hard points to basically gauge where you're going, that's fine. So we'll continue there. It's going to cost me 1,200 credits to actually get back, but that's basically not too bad. I've got over half a million credits, so I'm not too worried. So I'll just get and buy my ship back. Normally with your start out Sidewinder, when you get the one for free at the very beginning, if you get destroyed, it doesn't cost you anything to get it back. I should have really clicked the other thing and say give me a stock Sidewinder, but I didn't think that far ahead because it was a stock Sidewinder. But oh well, it doesn't really matter. It's a small amount of money to me right now. But when you're first starting out, that will not be a small amount. But yeah, that's basically covered everything we need to know about taking off, docking, and the security procedures around the spaceports. Now, there are other types of spaceports. They're not exactly spaceports, they are outposts. You can see them over on here. You can see O'Connell Landing. It has basically a symbol which looks like a square within a square. And those are the bigger starports. There are other starports as well, like Anning Hub down here. But that symbol there shows that it's an outpost, and it's just a tiny little, basically, space dock in the middle of nowhere. And it has no security, and it only has, like, as little as 1 to 2... It can have up to, like, 5, 6 or so docking spaces, unlike here where you've got, like, close to 50, maybe more. But it has no security. So if you fire off within the no fire zone, you'll just get a fine. You won't get shot at. If you shoot somebody, you'll just get a fine. There's no security around to stop you. But we'll jump back into the starport services just to the last little bit. And basically, because we fired and we got a few fines, we've got to go to contacts. Oh, because I died, my bounties have actually been removed. So yeah, I don't need to actually take them off. Didn't realise that. But yeah, okay. But yeah, like I said, that should cover pretty much everything that you need to know about starports and their how to dock, how to request docking, how to land, how to align yourself, and what not to do. Because there is a zero tolerance in this game for doing stupid crap like shooting people in a no-fly zone, in a no-fire zone. But anyway, this has been ChaosWulff. I do hope that you have found this video informative and you've actually enjoyed it. And if so, please do consider hitting that like button because it does help the channel out more than you can possibly know. And also do consider hitting that subscribe button because, funnily enough, that also helps the channel. But as I said, it's been ChaosWulff. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you around.